Three communities of the Mi'kmaq. There's Listuguj, the hometown, Geskabegiak, and Gespeg, which is the community you will visit in the future. These are the three partnering communities for the wind farm.
So where's the wind farm?
Our specific wind farm, our location would be roughly up here somewhere.
I'm excited to see it. It's really beautiful.
Oh, it's a very beautiful territory. This is the J.C. Van Horn Bridge. This is the link between the two provinces of Quebec and New Brunswick. It's basically the hub to get to Quebec and vice versa.
So how's the project been in terms of employment for the community?
In terms of employment, it's been a pretty good boom for the communities because a lot of the money stays within the local economy. They hired 116 individuals from our three communities. I actually have a career now because of the wind farm, and this is like a new recent addition to our community is the water park, the playground, and this is our community rink that was just opened this year. Newly built facilities for youth. It's also been built by funds that were contributed by the wind farm.
I love the maples.
The leaves are all changing now. Right now we're coming up to the lake. There's some cabins here. Hunting, fishing, it's our way of life. It's our lifeblood. It's how we sustain ourselves. It's our local getaway.
It's like reclaiming back what was always Mi'kmaq territory.
Claiming back what we never gave up in the first place. So this is Indian Lake. We call this Gospem.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, this is a beautiful time to be up here too.
For me, because I've never been to many large-scale renewable energy projects, I've seen a lot of smaller scale. I'm really looking forward to seeing what a large wind project looks like on Indigenous territory. Your territory is stunning.
Got a lot of peace and tranquility here, and this is what we like. This is what centers us right here. We need future generations to enjoy this, so that's why we put the work in it now.
It's my first time here in the Gaspé Peninsula in this region, and it's so beautiful. I can understand why the people are working so hard to protect their homelands. So what the Quebec government wanted was smaller scale, and the fact that the Mi'kmaq Nation pushed and said, no, we're going to have something bigger, better, and something that's actually going to benefit our community.
To learn how wind is driving new advances in clean energy, I'm going to visit the Gaspé's leading research center.
Melina.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to Nerjiga.
Thank you.
So we're just arriving at our test site right now.
Great.
Here we are.
Perfect.
Well, my name is Matthew Autumn-Gagnon. I'm born and raised in Gaspé. I studied in mechanical engineering. The wind turbines from our microgrid. Nerjiga was established as a research center for wind energy. Over the last few years, we've been working on solar energy as well and the integration of renewables on electricity grids.
So what do we see here?
We have two large wind turbines and a microgrid. So we're surrounded with water, we have high mountains, and we have very good wind potential here in the Gaspé. This is our microgrid. It consists of solar panels, smaller wind turbines, diesel gensets,
That's great.
energy storage.
Yeah, I've never seen a microgrid with wind, solar, and the gensets together. So right now you're testing two right now that are wind turbines, but then you're also testing a microgrid that's connected to solar and wind as well?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So a wind turbine really only needs about 3 or 4 meters per second of wind to start churning, like 10 or 15 kilometers per hour. One of the reasons why we look at microgrids and why we have smaller wind turbines on this microgrid is that a lot of remote communities in Canada don't have 500 households or 1,000 households. So as soon as you have a few of these large wind turbines installed, you're over capacity. So the idea of a microgrid is to install the amount of energy that you need for your demand. A lot of the remote communities in Canada have diesel generators. And in order to have an appropriate energy mix with renewable energies, you probably have to look at smaller wind turbines than what we have here. One of the other reasons why we're looking at different energy sources is that wind turbines will produce when it's windy, solar energy will produce when it's sunny. So if you have different energy sources, you have a better chance at meeting your energy demand and having a more stable or resilient grid.
So this is how it's connected in our microgrid. Okay. We have three kind of generators. This blue line is our grid, actually. where everything will be connected. The second part are the loads here. It represents like a village, a camp, everything that consumes electricity. This is what will be supplied by the diesel generators.
If I want to convince someone that's been investing in fossil fuels for years to invest in renewables, I'd probably mention to him that all the companies that he is probably investing in right now are already investing in renewable energies.
There's no reason not to do it anymore.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Well, thank you so much for showing me.
In addition to research, Nergica is also active in education, helping local Indigenous youth to pursue clean energy careers.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Longwa, and this is our wind turbine laboratory.
Jeffrey is an intern. He's a really bright student. He's from the Gaspé Mi'kmaq community. He's been working on helping us, ensuring that our met masts are up to standards, that our wind turbines are operating.
So this is the interior of an actual wind turbine that was in function. This model of wind turbine was one of the earlier editions, so it only produces 750 kilowatts of power. Where the newer ones of today, they can produce up to 8 megawatts of power.
That's amazing. I didn't realize they came from 750 kilowatts all the way up to 8 megawatts now. That's like an incredible difference in power and energy generation.
And so from the blades turning and the hub turning, this is then translated down to a drive shaft, which is then entered into a gearbox. This gearbox transformed the energy from a slow, high torquage to a fast, low torquage system. And the way this motor produces energy is that there's magnets inside, or poles, and then there's a coil in the middle. So the faster it turns, the more energy it produces.
So wind energy is produced by mechanical energy. So these blades are essentially being turned, and then they go into this gearbox, but then it turns into electrical energy through the magnets.
Exactly.
Okay.
Over here, we have a gearbox that you're actually able to see how it's done. You can actually see the gears together, and you can see how a gearbox actually works.
Oh, this is cool.
As you can see in here, this is what allows us to turn a big shaft into a small shaft as it goes from a high torquage to a low torquage. It's almost like a transmission in your car, if you will.
Thank you so much for explaining this to me. It actually really helps me understand better of the difference between wind energy and other types of renewable energy, and also just seeing the inside of a wind turbine, which a lot of people don't get to see. It's pretty cool.
It's my pleasure. Like I said, the more people that know how this wind energy works and how this renewable energy works, the more people are going to say, oh, well, that's going to be a good future, or that's a good future for us. So if you want, I have a class right now which shows and works a bit with this domain if you want to come and watch a bit of the course, if you will.
Sure, if they let me in.
I don't see why they wouldn't. And this is where we learn information about how the wind turbines function in general.
Thank you so much for showing me.
No problem. That was my pleasure.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi.
We're going to make the measurement of the coil of the wind turbine.
You know, we say there's no better time but now, but if we don't do it now, the impact of continuing to use fossil fuels on our planet is going to be devastating. My vision is for my children in 20, 30 years' time to be able to look back and say, my dad was a part of it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Within Listerguch, it's an English-based community, but we're making strides to get our Mi'kmaq language back. Here, Melina, is our Alexi Del Gitfu school.
Speaking with our youth about renewable energy is one of the best things about my work. So I'm looking forward to today's visit.
Oh, hey.
Hi, I'm Brenda.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Alexi Del Gitfu School. We're happy to have you.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that we try in kindergarten is to teach them that everything has a spirit. So when we go on the land, we make sure they know trees have spirits. We do that even before we teach language arts.
That's like traditional teachings,
Yes,
you know,
for
which
sure.
is so important.
So in the morning time, we do our basic math and language. In terms of Mi'kmaq language, we do have somebody coming in once a week to do like a core language program. But we do the months of the year, the days of the week, the animals. Excuse me, class. I have Melina here, and she's going to talk to you about renewable energy. Come on in.
Thank you. Who's heard of climate change? Yeah? Okay, so I mean, at your age, that's really good that you guys have heard of climate change, because probably when I was your age, people weren't talking about climate change, even though we probably should have been talking about climate change. You guys have heard of oil before? Yeah, so that's a non-renewable type of energy source. So we put oil into our cars. And so when we're using non-renewable energy, we're producing climate change. And that's